Hello, I hope you're doing great. Today we are going to discuss how you can prepare for MAUI Blazor. As most of you know, .NET 6 is coming at the end of the year and it has supports for uh, multi-platform applications in a new way. It is the Xamarin evolution, as they call it, and we are going to be able to very easily create cross-platform applications. On top of that, we will be able to use Blazor in our MAUI applications. So it means that if we already have a Blazor system, we can reutilize that in our MAUI application, effectively making it really easy to create a cross-platform application that is going to be able to run in most of the devices, including Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android, and of course the web. So, how do we prepare for MAUI? First, at the time of the recording of this video, .NET 6 is on preview 4 and MAUI is still in preview 2 along with .NET 6. So we have to do a lot of command line tools, things like that, small tweaks because the tooling is not yet fully supported. However, they made it really easy. So if you go to https:/github.com to github.com/.net/MAUI, you will see that down here they tell you what you need to do, right? And if you don't have the SDKs, you can go to the link that they tell you, and in this other project it will tell you to install this MAUI check tool, right? And when you run it, it will start verifying if your environment is ready to be able to create MAUI projects, right? Create and run MAUI projects. You can do that all manually, right? But the MAUI check tool, it's actually really useful. You don't have to install anything. You just have to start typing some answering if yes or no, or confirm with a Y if for the things that you are missing, they request if you want to install it. And once that's ready, you will be able to run it. Okay. Then if we go back to the MAUI project, you see that here this has like a couple of projects too that you can run, right? And that will basically make it ready for you to be able to run the MAUI applications. Now, it is really important if you are using Windows, or it's actually better if you're using Windows to install the preview version because that has the latest support. Okay, now if you are using Mac, Visual Studio for Mac does not currently support MAUI, so you have to do a lot of things through the command line. However, building the applications is really easy. If you want to build the application for Android, if you want to build and run the application, right? You want to run for example, these ones are the ones for MAUI. .NET build hello MAUI dash the colon run. Okay, and for Android is for iOS and this for Mac Catalyst, right? So it's really easy. Now, some other application or example that you have in here is this Blazor weather.maui that it's on the Daniel wrote repository, and you can check it. This has a really cool MAUI application, and that was the basis um, for the initial or the basic project for one of the migrations we are doing for Fairplay 2. If you if you see, I have this simulator running, and this simulator is currently shown a MAUI application that is showing the videos for um, our Fairplay 2 system. You see, we have here the system fairplay2.pticostarica.com, and here we have this small Blazor layout, right, and a couple of videos in here, right. So what we did is take as a base the Blazor MAUI weather example from Daniel wrote, and uh, be able to be and with that we make it easy to reutilize many of the Blazor components to show the cards. Um, we only had to do like some tweaking because of the way MAUI works, right? That you can take, yeah, this as a sample. So important things to know in the application is that for example, let's see this one, the Blazor weather. You see that this one has Blazor weather.maui, right? And the MAUI is the start application. The startup just configures the application initialization, right? One of the things that you will notice in here is that the HTTP calls are going to be executed through a non-secure call, because apparently currently there is an issue using HTTPS. So if you are going to use if you are going to consume an API at the moment, you will need to make sure that it it can be consumed through a non-secure port. And when I was testing in Azure, I actually had to disable the only HTTPS, and also in some of my tests I had to disable the .NET Core API HTTPS redirection. So that's something that you may need to do at the moment, right? But that's just because apparently just because this is on preview and not everything is ready at the moment. But for the release, which should be at the end of the year, hopefully this will be fixed. Okay, so you will see that we have in here the configuration tells which is the startup, right? Register the MAUI web view and which app it's going to use. So it will find a type app, and this app is here, this SAML, right? This SAML has the basic layout for the top of the application, and in the SAML.cs you will see that the window is going to use the main page, and the main page will have the mapping to the actual Blazor application. So you will see that we will have a root component. This selector will be app, and it will look for the main component. Main component is defined here. Here is the raster view, and the only thing that this does at the moment is use the Blazor weather.app component. The Blazor weather.app component is actually defined in the Blazor weather app.razor component, and this has the routing and everything related to the um, Blazor application, right? So that will be the app, and then everything will work through the routing. So the first page you will see is the one, this one, right? And then you will start navigating usually as in the Blazor application. Now something that you will need to be careful with is that if you see this seems to be a Blazor WebAssembly application because it has an index.html that is referencing the blazor.webassembly.js. However, this is not set as a Blazor WebAssembly application because this is actually using the Razor SDK and not the WebAssembly SDK. Okay, so that's something that you need to be careful about because otherwise you will start getting errors because, for example, you cannot have um, two index.html, right? Two www with the same files, right? Because your application won't even compile, right? But if you when you are using a Razor SDK type, it will compile. Okay, so we took that as a basis for the Fairplay 2 MAUI version, and it's pretty similar actually. So what we did is we have here this MAUI project, right? We copy most of it. We change the names of the namespaces, right? Um, and in on main.razor, we are using that, right? And in our pages, this is implemented on the same project, right? So in here we basically reutilize a custom component that we already had, right? We implemented the logic to retrieve the data, right? So basically this is just pure Blazor, right? Retrieve the data, store it in a variable, and in your Razor page set how it's going to be rendered, right? Couple of things that you need to make sure that it's properly configured is that of course you need to have your projects imported, right? But you also need to make sure to register your HTTP clients, right? Since those HTTP clients were actually named clients, you need to register with the assembly name, right? And you need to add them to the scope because in our code in the services we are using the HTTP client factory to create the clients based on the name, right? And also you need to set the base address of the API that those are going to consume, right? So that's the basis on how to prepare for MAUI, and you will get this is just our application, right? But you can keep doing some changes in here and do whatever you want to do in here, right? So in this case I am going to remove this, and I'll do that. I'll cancel this and I'll reveal the application, right? And once I reveal it and it deploys to my simulator, I will see the updated application. So we will see that this will disappear. I believe this will disappear too, and we will see the paragraph that I just added in there. Please remember, subscribe to the channel, share the videos, and invite more people to subscribe to the channel. Also use the channel discussions to let us know what things you would like to have in the channel. Remember, we are doing trainings about .NET Core, .NET 5, soon .NET 6, Blazor, Microsoft Azure, and Unity 3D. Right? So let's see how it's our build going. This is actually going to take a little bit, I think, because the deployment to this kind of devices are actually, this compilation and the deployments to this kind of devices are actually slow. So let's give it a couple of minutes. So since the tooling is actually not currently completed because we are on preview, because Visual Studio and .NET 6 are in Visual Studio, .NET 6 is in preview. It is more easy to use Visual Studio Code to modify the files without having your Visual Studio format or your Visual Studio giving a lot of errors, right? So let's see. Yeah, it's still going to take a little bit longer. Let's see. It should deploy in a second already. Okay. So yeah, it's currently better to work with Visual Studio Code to edit the files, because you may have noticed that for this kind of project you will need to modify the CS brush files and even the solution file manually if you are working, for example, in a Mac at the moment, and sometimes also if you are using Windows. Though the Visual Studio previews, they are for Windows and they actually are more frequently updated. So you see that the application restarted in the background because it already deployed a new version, and the survey that was in there was removed, and this new paragraph was added, right? So that's one of the changes, and this is one MAUI version. This is a Blazor or MAUI Blazor. Not sure how they will end up calling that. In an iOS or an iPad simulator, and yeah, it's really good. So to recap, basically you go to github.com/.net/MAUI. You follow the github.com/.net/MAUI-samples repository instructions to install all of the required SDKs and configure your environment automatically, right? And once that is done, you can download this application, the one from the samples. You can download those and test, right? Or you can download the one for the Blazor weather with the MAUI project, and you can test that. It's really cool. Actually, let me show it. Let's see. So that should be on my desktop. No, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Blazor weather the MAUI. Actually, I may have it in here. Give me a second. Let's see. No, I haven't deployed it. So let's see. I mistyped the name of the project. So I should start building the Blazor Weather MAUI application, and once that is deployed, we should see it on the simulator that we have in the background, and you will see that the layout of that application is actually really cool. Um, they are using a lot of the Xamarin controls, I think. Um, it looks really cool. So let's wait a couple of minutes for this to start, and you will see the application running. That application is on Daniel Roth's Daniel Roth GitHub, right? github.com/danroth27/blazor weather, and here is all of the information on how to run it and the current issues. Also, uh, you will see that it is split in a couple of other projects. This is the weather client, which has all of the methods that are going to be used to use the HTTP client to invoke the API to get the data, right? We have the model in here, and here is the server, right? And on the server, this is I believe this is the API. And let's see. Yes, add Blazor weather, configuration weather, and the Blazor weather will actually configure the rest. So it's still building, but after that we will see the application. One of the things that you will notice in this is that they implemented a lot of extended um, services extensions. So, for example, we should see, I believe it's in here, Blazor Weather Service Collection Extensions. Add Blazor Weather. Here is where uh, they are registering the weather service, right? Well, the application state, display helper, others. Here they are setting the base URL for the HTTP client. So when you request the HTTP client for the weather service, or when you request the weather service, you will get an HTTP client already configured with the base address, and you don't have to put the whole address in your request. So the application it's already deployed, and you will see that here is how it looks. It says like Boston, right? It has some like weather stations, right? You can click these, right? You can keep adding. You will see that here it shows, I believe that's like a speed, right? Let's see, here you have the forecast. You have like a favorite section too, or you can add. Okay, this is apparently not finished, I guess. But yeah, that's the sample application that you can play out with. Remember, that's on the install directory. Hope this video has been useful, and please remember share the channel, like the videos, and invite more people so we can get more subscribers. Thank you very much and have a great day.